give and they get. Then they run around town beating their chests like they forget. I can forget for now, but I won't never forget. No, love how I feel, knowing the universe got my back. Whoa, love how I feel, knowing that money gon' come right back.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Journey podcast. I know it's been a while.
What up, boys?
What's good?
Yeah, I'm like instantly hot. Like as soon as the AC was turned off, I'm like instantaneously hot.
Yeah,
feels nice in here.
Yeah, feels all right. It's probably gonna get hot as it goes.
Yeah. Well,
but,
it's all good.
Yeah, no. So this is obviously our first episode back on YouTube for a pretty long time, probably 2 months almost.
Yeah, it has been a minute, right?
Yeah, YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
But basically, we're here to say that all of our internal episodes live on our Patreon. We're posting 4 times a month on there, so we will be on YouTube and Spotify with just us, maybe once a month, and then 2 to 3 guest episodes. But we just want to let you guys know that if you want to see us, that is where we are on Patreon. The link is in the description, and I think those episodes are really good. It's kind of like the OG style, but we just kind of had to make the move to Patreon.
Yeah, they're amazing. If you want to learn everything about us, head over to the Patreon. And your breakfast probably costs more than it, so I don't want to hear no shit. That's all I gotta say. It's fucking $9.99.
$8.99.
I just saved you $1.
There you go.
That.
It's it was something for us. It's just been I can't even tell you. This past 6 months has been so weird. So many weird changes, but also a lot of for as much change as there's been, there's also been just as much stagnation. So it's a weird period because you're in the same, I don't know, I guess just another year. I guess, what's funny, being in the same place as we were last year, but another year passing is a very...
It's weird.
Weird thing.
Yeah, I mean...
Because I don't feel like it's last year, but... I don't know.
I feel like I'm in the same place physically.
Yeah.
But I feel like emotionally and spiritually and mentally, totally different place than last year.
For sure.
Like 2 different people.
Right.
Same.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that's why it's weird.
Right.
Because it's like a different person, but you're in the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that time lag thing we spoke about on the last episode. It's just kind of like the things that you do now. I'm still doing the things now that I hope to see in let's say 6 months or some shit. So I'm trying not to get caught up in the feeling stagnated part and just trying to let time catch up and slowly but surely just put the bricks in every day, which is the toughest part about that shit, right? So
yeah, not
easy.
It's funny. So the game plan for this episode, I found another cool post on Instagram, and the idea is, how blessed am I? So, we never understand what things are happening, but regardless, you're blessed. So it just says, we fall into routines of life, trying to make names for ourselves, to get jobs we'd like, the promotions we want. We do our best to survive. We forget that there is more than just getting by. And when we remember, we feel crippled and want to do everything we can to run away from it. So we turn on our TVs, our phones, and try to bring some relief to the wound. Life is happening while you spend your time trying to figure it all out. And all the while, we're so damn hard on ourselves in the process. Don't be so hard on yourself. There's incredible things coming. So that was the description. Mm-hmm. And then there's a bunch of slides. So the first one is kind of what we were saying. How blessed am I that I got to start over?
It's a bittersweet thing, I guess. It's funny that just to organically kind of just bring up Mosaic a little bit, and I just started microdosing mushrooms with a company called Mosaic. Shout out to Mosaic. Not a paid ad yet, but what I've noticed is that you're not supposed to. You don't really see the. It's like the time lag thing. You don't take the fucking mushrooms for a week and see it change you. But what I've noticed is that I'm looking at the glass. My perspective has kind of changed on things, right? My perspective looks half full instead of the cup half full instead of the cup half empty. And I think that goes back to what you just said, how blessed am I to be able to start over, because some people crash and burn, and that's exactly what they do. They crash and they burn, and that's it, right? So to be able to not necessarily snap out of that crash and burn, because I haven't snapped out of it, but to use it as motivation to change my perspective on it, instead of looking at it damn, why is this happening to me? I'm looking at it like, oh wow, okay, this is happening to me for a reason. Like, do we know what that reason is? No, not yet. We gotta let time catch up and figure it out. But I think that that's really dope because we are blessed to just, at the end of the day, we are just still blessed to just be alive and breathing and waking up every morning, you know. And it's kind of changed my perspective a little bit. Like waking up in the morning, like, oh, God woke me up this morning, you know. Where there have been nights where I would go to sleep and be like, damn, if I didn't wake up tomorrow, I don't really know if it would change much, you know. So now to like look at it from a different perspective, like, oh wow, he got me up today. At least I'm thankful for that, and I get to put 2 feet in front and just kind of like change my life in a way, you know. I think it's bittersweet, but it's really dope.
Yeah, bro. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, starting over, it's almost like changing your operating system and like getting one you actually like. It's funny. I remember like way back in the day, I was like super anti mushrooms. And then I did it one day, not all the way, but I probably like a half a dose or something like that. And I remember after I did it, one, it wasn't what I thought it would be. It was much friendlier than I thought. Than I thought it was, especially a microdose. Microdosing was fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I haven't taken enough to like trip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they say like 3.5 grams or an eighth is like tripping.
Yeah.
I was taking not even a full gram. It was 0.1. The first time when I went to West Bay, he gave it to me because he could just see that I was like really down. I was really in the mud. And he was like, yo, just take this. And then I started to take in 0.2s, and now I'm up to like a 0.3. So it's like nowhere near enough to be psychedelic. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because you also don't want to hallucinate when you're in a bad place, because then
course.
it won't be friendly. You know?
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, the microdosing, it's weird, bro. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's dope.
One of the things that got me through it, because I'm just the type of person that is so neurotic that I feel like I could have a panic attack off 0.1.
Yeah.
I feel like I can, and it's funny, like after doing it, it's not the case. But there is a second where you are beginning to feel a little something, and just that right there, your stomach is, like,
Yeah, you can get
I
your
guess
head.
you could get in your head.
100%.
But I just say all that to say that how I opened myself up to doing it was I kind of looked in the mirror and I was like, I'm not happy with who I am. I'm not. And what's the worst that can happen? Because you hear all the horror stories of people like, oh, I was never the same. And that was kind of why I wanted to take it, because I didn't want to be the same. But it's funny. I'm not really into psychedelic. I'm not really into
Me
it.
either. Just to preface, like I've never fully tripped before in my life. You know what I mean?
Definitely not for me. But I one thing I am grateful for is I still think to this day, I guess over the past 7 months with like my operating system, is I finally did change a lot of the things I didn't like about myself. And maybe I didn't even know that I didn't like about myself, just things that I think like when you're inherently selfish and in some ways narcissistic, you can be blind to your bullshit, and that's what I was for a long time. I think there's levels. I'm not saying I'm like a full-blooded narcissist, but like I think that I got used to doing a lot of things without accountability. And it's funny because the reason why I would do those things is because I thought those were the things that I wanted in life. And looking back now, I'm really happy that at least one thing that I'm glad that I got to start over with was I spent so much time building myself up, and I've just seen a lot of that. I was just at this real estate convention, and everyone is so focused on themselves, and that's who I was for a really long time, bro. I mean, I was just so I wanted before I even like got in a conversation with someone for them to like recognize me, and it's a sad way to live. It really is just like a really sad way to live. So I'm really happy. Funny enough, actually, this past weekend, it was pretty cool. The Bible speaks about taking the lowly place a lot. You know, it talks a lot about humility. It says pride is like an abomination to God. And this past weekend, I went to like this real estate networking convention, and there was this guy that was like kind of unassuming. And out of the 50 real estate agents that were there, all 50 of them were like trying to sell themselves and, hey, this is me. Here's a picture of me in front of a Ferrari. Here's my listing, $300 million listing, right? And then during one of the speeches, this guy walked up. Someone asked this guy a question to where, and he didn't talk the whole event to anyone, because I guess no one cared enough to ask him about him because they were too busy talking about themselves. And to where he said, I think one of the things that separates me as a real estate agent is I was a former Navy SEAL. And everyone's eyes just like, you know? And I got to look at that. Like, here's a guy that wasn't trying to sell himself at all. And he got the thing that I kind of always wanted, which was like recognition. And it's funny because I realized like one of the most unattractive qualities is very much trying to be attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I don't really live much of my life from that lens anymore, because it's I can spot it like the moment I care more about how I look versus how I'm actually showing up in the world. I know I lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then also you always see like usually like the loudest guy in the room or the one like really seeking attention is usually the one that's hurting the most, is because their happiness is so based off of how other people view them. They need to make sure that they do that to like feed themselves that happiness. And that gets, you know, that's you're outside you look full, but on the inside you're pretty empty, you know? So yeah, you see that a lot, you know, and that can go both ways also with someone maybe just like dealing mentally, where they're always like the happy person trying to make everyone else laugh. That's why you see with a lot of comedians that are, that's why they're comedians, because they're dealing while no one's around. But then when they get in a room, they're the star, you know, they can make everyone laugh. But yeah, I think, starting over, I mean, starting over is cool once you, get out of the mindset that you were in that forced you to start over. I think that's the hardest part, is like usually when you start over or there's a new beginning, it comes from some type of pain or losing someone or hurt or something going wrong in your life. So when you're in it, you're like, I don't want to start over. I'm comfortable. I want things to go back to the way they were. And, you can hold on to that idea, but it doesn't fulfill you, and it's not going to help you. You know, it's cool once you can start to get removed mentally from something that was really keeping you in a stuck place, and then you can look at life of like what it says. How blessed am I that I get to start over? It's like, it's cool. Like imagine you never got to start over. Imagine like the road you took. You just had to stay on that. Imagine like your first job, that's it. Like I chose to be a custodian for my first job in 7th grade. Imagine I wasn't able to like start over. Like you chose your custodian, that's it for the rest of your life. So it is a blessing that you get to start over in all aspects, whether it's job, career, passions, relationships, friendships. You get to start over. You get to totally reinvent yourself, have people view you a different way. You get to show up for people a different way. There's so many different avenues that you can look at it two ways of like, damn, I had to let go of my past life. I love that. And now I'm just going to be sad because I don't have it anymore. Or, wow, I get to totally reinvent myself and become a new person and build new relationships and go down different paths of life. And it's cool. And guess what? I could do it again. You know, you don't just start over once. You're going to start over continuously with all aspects of your life. So yeah, I think starting over is, it's cool once you can see it from that lens. But the first day when you're like, you know, you got to start fresh is obviously hard, and those weeks going, but, it's always a good thing for a new beginning. How blessed am I to love even when I'm scared?
I mean, I was thinking about this before because, coming out of a long-term relationship, we've spoken about this. I'm just not ready or open to like love at this point in my life. But I think back on when I got out of that first relationship that I was in, and I was pretty much feeling the same that I have, not as bad, but on the same spectrum of hurt and grief and pain and whatever. And then I met, and I
See,
think
the Patreon gets her name.
the Patreon gets her name, her initial, fucking everything. So that was a good one. It's only $8.99. But I do. I go back and I think on it, and I'm like, wow. I also wasn't open then at that point to meeting somebody new, and she just kind of just popped into my life. Like, how blessed was I that I met somebody that saved me from what I was going through at that time. So I try to like wake up and adopt that mentality to adopt that perspective that I can only see in hindsight and like apply it now, right? It's like the difference between knowledge and applied knowledge. Like, you can know it, but you also need to like go and apply it. So that's where I'm at. Not that I'm looking or anything, but just trying to be open to it. Because I do remember a time where I felt like I feel right now, and I wasn't open to it, but it came to me, and it was great. And now I feel like I'm not open to meeting somebody new or to meeting love, but I'm trying to be open to the idea that maybe it might happen again, and that's a blessing instead of just like self-sabotaging, which I've always done,
Love when I am scared. How blessed am I to love when I am scared? Yeah, I mean, kind of like what you said before, how blessed am I to love when I'm scared? I mean, it kind of insinuates being scared that you can't really feel that blessing. So that's a hard one. I think that, the only times in life you can love when you're scared is when you have no other choice. Because I'd rather love when I'm not scared. I'd rather love when I'm feeling good. But I guess, yeah, how blessed am I to love when I'm scared, because love is probably the only thing you can lean on in that point.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of shows you just how powerful love is, because that's probably the only thing that can actually get you through. I just some follow-up. Yeah, so my girl and I are broken up for good. Yeah, been a
haven't
week.
Spoke to or seen you or
yeah, it's been
a minute. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's been real. It's been longest time ever, and
longest time ever not being together.
Yeah. Since not longest. 4 years. But
yes,
yeah,
since that you got.
Yeah, and I did meet up with her earlier this week, but it was more on a honesty campaign. It was more on how we left it off was just like so brutal.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those like you leave at 1 a.m. type of things, So we did get to meet up again, and we went to the beach, and I just had like an honesty campaign with her, and we just laid it all out there, like for real. And it was like the first time I was actually honest with her. I started so much nonsense in that relationship, out of just trying to get her to leave, because I probably wasn't man enough to just be honest. Because the saddest thing is, you think honesty is not what your partner needs. Like, you try to save someone from honesty, but it's really, there's something weird about it. There's something that's like unsaid about honesty. Like, yeah, like it might be a harsher thing to hear, but because it's genuinely honest, like it just comes out with love. So if you're like kind of
BSing.
Yeah, if you're BSing someone, it people can feel that. And they might not know you're BSing them, but it's going to mess with them. And I got to kind of look at a girl who's like 120 pounds that is just like this feminine creature that I'm like, I feel responsible for in many ways. And just be honest and just say like, hey, I love you. You love me. We're not at odds. We're never at odds. If we end up together or we don't end up together, that doesn't mean that I don't love you. That doesn't mean that we're not family. Like, if I ever make it and we're not together, your husband's going to hate me because he's going to get sick of all the money that I send you for the rest of your life, you know, like, because that's just like, you're my family. You're probably closer to me than I even am with my own dad right now. So I personally feel mature enough in my age I don't want to move on from you. If anything, I'd rather our relationship evolve. And also that kind of leaves a door open somewhere in the future if you never know.
You're going to stay friends, you're saying?
Yeah, basically, bro. Yeah, friends. Yeah, friends. Not like, you know, talking really, but hey, Jake, you know, there's this event coming up. I need a +1. Sure, I got you. Hey, my car inspection's up. Can you know? Because I thought about that relationship, not to hijack the episode, but I thought about that relationship, and I owe her so much because we were literally together when we couldn't rub like 2 pebbles together. I'm never going to walk away from her. I'm not going to do that. Bro, we all like her. She's like family.
Yeah, she's the best.
You know, so I kind of realized that what if that relationship in a way almost like evolved, and what if it was able to evolve just by being honest about it? Because I'm not a bad guy for not being at the right time, because that really is what it is. It's not the right time. And she's not a bad person for also not being at her timing and where she's at in life. And I bring up this whole thing to say how blessed am I to love when I'm scared. The only way I was ever going to be able to even get to a position where it's like 7-8 p.m. and I don't use someone anymore, because that's what I was doing. I was using someone because I was so afraid to be alone. Instead of being in that relationship, I entered a new relationship with God. And now 7, 8, 9, you know, it's funny because I've been on a feeling good campaign, and I had like an idea of this episode back, like, wow, people are going to get like this feeling good Jake. And now there was like a heaviness in my heart before this episode. And I guess it is because I am scared. I feel a lot of love, but I am scared. But I guess that's really what this, you know, quote is, because and then to even parlay it to the first part, it's like I'm like weaning off from 7 months ago being a completely new person. And I got to say, like, for the first time in my life, I actually think I feel like myself. So, because, bro, I always had good parts of me, but I always had bad parts of me. And the bad parts, I just don't want to feed really anymore.
Yeah.
Because how great would it be if you were really just, like, in a corny way, the best version of yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, I can relate with a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of it, most of it.
How blessed am I to be able to love even when I'm scared? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, that's kind of what even happened to me with the last situation. Where I've been, I mean, our listeners, everyone, like, I've been like head over heels, don't want a relationship, don't want to get into it with anyone, I'm not in a place, right? That was all like insecurity of being scared because I was hurt in the last relationship. So like the last female that treated me wrong, I was scared to go through that again. So I was like, I'm not going to put myself in a position to feel that type of pain again and hurt. And I saw what it did to me. And usually, and that's what happens. Like when you're not looking for love and you're not looking for someone, they just find their way in your life. Even when you said, I don't want a relationship right now, that person usually comes in and everything you said goes out the window. And that's what happened to me. So I was scared, but I still was able to love because that's how powerful love is. Yeah. And that's why it was cool just to be able to experience that, because it's been a very long time, if ever, that I've ever felt like that for someone, if ever. And it was so brief and it was so short. And I mean, it was cool. Like now, like being almost 2 months removed from it, like, dude, that's amazing to be able to feel that, you know, like how blessed are we to be able to even feel that type of love for someone in such a short amount of time when you weren't even looking for it. And yeah, it's just one of those things where at the end of the day, all we want is love, you know, to be loved, to be able to give love, to be able to be there for people. And a lot of people run away from it because they're scared, because they were hurt. And it's hard to tell someone to be open to love after they loved someone and then they got hurt, or they've been done wrong, or they feel like they can never feel this way again for someone else. It's like, you can, you know, you can. It will, like, not even you can, like, it will happen. You will feel that way for someone again. And someone will treat you how maybe you were treated, or they'll treat you better if you were mistreated. And I just think, yeah, we got to maybe let go of all like that baggage and that trauma from the past and the hurt that we're scared to love, because I mean, it's the best feeling. I mean, I was on the phone with someone the other day who called me about relationship stuff, and wherever we got into the conversation, because he was saying like, dude, it's so hard. Like when you're on your grind and you don't want a girl, and he's like, it's so hard to say no when that girl comes in and like you fall for her. Yeah. How do you say no? Like you just kept telling yourself, I don't want to do this. I don't want a relationship. I'm working on myself. And then that girl comes in and whatever you said the last couple of months doesn't matter. And I was like, dude, of course. I was like, it's the best thing in the world to like hang out with a girl, talk to a girl, connect with a girl. It's the best thing in the world. It's our biggest, it's our number one weakness. Yeah. We all fall to it. But then I also said to him, I'm like, kind of like what we've been saying a lot. Like sometimes you have to give up good to get great. Yeah. And I was like, are you really in a position to have a woman right now? Yeah, it's good to lay up and watch Netflix and go out to eat and have fun. But like, can you sustain that forever? Financially, are you where you're at? Physically, mentally, spiritually? Probably not. So yes, we have to be mature enough to know when to accept love, even if it feels really good. And I said that in my last one, like that love that I had for her and that we shared, yeah, it felt amazing. But am I really in a position right now to be able to sustain that and endure it and you know, nurture it? No. Was that like, yeah, can you have stories where you grind with the girl and you're on the come up and she believes in you and you really don't really have that much going on? Absolutely. But that's hard, and that's few and far between that actually make it out of those situations, you know? So I think, yeah, you can be scared to fall back in love, but I do believe you should be able, you should put yourself in a position where when love comes, you're able to hold on to it. You're not going to lose it. You're not going to squander it if it's real. And I think, you know, a lot of people rush into love because they're lonely, and then it ends up hurting them. And that was because like they didn't do their part to be ready to accept that kind of love or give that kind of love. So
I agree.
It's a good topic.
I agree.
Yeah, that one was good. This one we could probably run through quick. Okay. How blessed am I to forgive without an apology?
That one's tough. That one's tough. I can relate that to how I've spoken about my father on here. How I feel like that motherfucker owes me an apology, and I haven't forgiven him. So, you know, that's. I guess that's just like an ego thing. That's definitely an ego thing. But I've definitely forgiven people without an apology before. I don't know off the top of my head, and hopefully I've been forgiven without giving an apology before, because there's definitely been situations like that too. You know.
Yeah.
But that's a tough one.
I'm gonna give you some wisdom. I wrote this down. Yeah, so pretty cool. The only time I believe, not to make it too much about that, I won't even get into that, but yeah, basically there's this verse in the Bible about forgiveness. I have this app. It helps me memorize Bible verses. It's actually really good. It's called Bible Memory. But I literally came across it the other day. For if you forgive man, okay, so there's only one prayer Jesus tells you to pray in the entire Bible, and it's the Our Father. So the Our Father is like extremely biblical. Like Our Father is a good prayer to pray. But yeah, so it says, but then after the Father, the first thing he says after he says the Our Father is this: for if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. So I just think it's like kind of like blatantly simple. Like, you're not going to get into heaven if you don't forgive whoever hurt you. And I'm not talking about heaven as the pearly gates. I'm talking about, you're not going to start feeling good if you got some resentment on your heart. Not
gonna be at peace unless you start fucking, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. Unfortunately, I mean, that's just who I go to. I mean, that's just who I take my advice from.
Yeah.
And I've just seen everything that he says just seems to line up. So it's almost funny. Like, I feel like forgiveness, there really is no option. And it just has to become something that you need to like build a muscle out of it, right? You need to like build a habit out of it, almost like muscle memory. And it's crazy. Like, you can't half-ass it. You can't not, like, you can like, oh, I forgive that person. Well, you're not going to feel the good effects of it.
Unless you actually do. Yeah.
Forgiveness is, can I get to a place where I can pray for this person, where I genuinely ask God to give them the things that I want for myself? Can I pray for another person that I hate, that I pray for like myself? That's genuine forgiveness. Yeah. And that's just what's so hard about it,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and usually forgiveness, it's not for like the other person.
Yeah.
It's selfishly for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're doing it to your like you want an apology so you can feel better. It's a selfish deed. Like, if someone does you wrong, bro, forgive them. Like, I'd say that is one of my better attributes with like people and relationships, is forgiveness. Like, I've never held a grudge over anyone. I really haven't. Like, people that have done me like really wrong, I've always, I think it was one of the things from losing my mom was understanding how short life is and how short of a time you have with people. And I just always hated that aspect of like, damn, I don't want to go the rest of my life with like unwarranted animosity between me and another person that at one time we were really cool. Because if someone you don't even like care about, or someone that you don't even really mess with, screws you over, you don't care about an apology, forgiveness, whatever. They're gone with the wind. But usually the quote, like, when we want an apology from someone, it's from someone that we care about. So if I could put myself back in those shoes, like, damn, we were like this at one point, and now maybe, you did me wrong, and now it's a totally different relationship. I don't want to hate you, because now that's like living in my head rent free for something that doesn't even matter anymore because it already happened. We can't change it. So whether you apologize or not, yeah, I'll forgive you. If you come back into my life, am I going to treat you the same way that I treated you once before? Absolutely not. I need to learn from that, and I need to understand who you are from your actions and the way that you treated me, but I'm not going to like give you a cold shoulder or hate you. Like, I'll still give you love to an extent. That's the thing. I can never give you the same love that I once gave you, but I'll always be able to give you love. And I think that's a really good characteristic and like just trait to have as a human, where if someone does you wrong, you don't have to hate them, because now that's weighing on you. You can still give them love, but you got to give them a different type of love and a different type of respect. And I've done that a lot. I mean, bro, with like relationships, partners, I don't think there's like one partner that if they hit me up right now and like really needed me or whatever, I'll be cordial. I don't hate you. Will I ever bring you back into my life in the way that we once were? Absolutely not. Yeah. But I think that's a maturity thing, you know? I don't want to, well, if you hit me up, I'm going to be like, I'm going to curse you out or leave you on red like some childish, like, oh, you did me wrong. Like, I'm going to leave you on red. Right. You know, like, dude, I don't, you know, I saw your text. I'll answer, you know, I saw your message. I'll answer you, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's important.
One thing to add about forgiveness, because I think that like to insinuate, like, forgiveness might not be seen as a masculine trait, because forgiveness is almost like, it's almost like you're recognition, you're releasing. You're releasing. I feel like so in that sense, forgiveness is like a feminine trait, you know. So
or it's like the most masculine thing you can do.
Yeah. So that was the one thing I was gonna say. I was watching this Christian movie. It was the worst movie of all time. I mean, every Christian movie is so bad. I mean, they need Martin Scorsese needs to get in there, but it was pretty cool. It was about like Germany, you know, with like you know, World War II, whatever. Mm-hmm. And basically, long story short, worst movie ever, most powerful message about forgiveness. This woman, her whole family died, you know, in a concentration camp. And she then committed her years, the rest of her years, to like saving other Jews or something like that. And then one day she comes across this German officer, and she comes to find out that he was the guy that killed her family. And she walked right up to him and she gave him a kiss on the cheek. But the way she did it was so baller. Bro, like the way she did it was just so, because she really forgave him. And it's funny because just to like finish that off, this is what the Bible says about that, which is cool. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. And if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For so you will heap coals of fire on his head, and the Lord will reward you. So it could be two things at the same time. It's like, yeah, that woman truthfully forgave that man that killed her family, but she reaped coals of fire on his head at the same time. Like, he felt so defeated in that moment. And that's how powerful forgiveness can be. It's like a two-edged sword, you know? Like, part of me is completely feminine in an aspect, and I'm just going to let you win, but I'm really going to forgive you. And the other part of me is I'm going to suck your soul right out of your body and heap coals of fire on your head. But you do that because, but yeah, it's, I don't know, just powerful.
Yeah, I mean, and also not forgiving when it comes to drastic situations like that, I mean, gets you in trouble. I saw not too long ago in New York, there was a, I don't know if it was New York, but there was a cop shooting. Damn. 18-year-old kid was killed. Mm-hmm. The next day, his father found out where the cop was working, and he was working as a cross guard, and he ran him over. And now he's doing life in prison. And they showed the clip of him at court, and the entire county police was there. Yeah. And dude, like, he, with hands behind his back, you know, getting carried out after he got sentenced, like, he just like death stared the entire police department. Now, do you forgive a cop that killed your son wrongfully? That's tough.
Yeah, well, that's what the Bible says. That's you have to do it.
I
Yeah,
know, but
easier,
like,
right?
but he
Easier
went and got
said than-
vengeance,
Yeah,
and
right.
now he's
Yeah, easier
Doing
said than
life.
done.
now he's doing life in prison. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's tough.
But one of the things that I've had a problem with is actually when it comes to forgiveness is forgiving myself with a lot of things, because I catch myself fucking ruminating on all the fucking bad shit, especially like in my last relationship that I did wrong or like might have hurt her or whatever. And yeah, bro. So I've had a problem. That's what I pray for at night a lot. When I talk to God, I talk to him, I pray for his forgiveness, but I also pray that he gives me the power to forgive myself.
Amen.
Which has been very, very difficult. Probably the most difficult. I've actually probably found it harder to forgive myself than it is to forgive anybody else.
Well, what's cool is you're already forgiven by him.
Yeah.
So
well,
now you just got to go figure that
I
one
pray
out.
it all the time. That's how I end every prayer. I end every prayer like that. I'm like, I pray for forgiveness from you, but I also pray you give me the power to forgive myself.
Why do you think you can't?
I don't know. It's tough, bro. I still deal with fucking like not having her in my life, and it's just like my fault. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard to forgive yourself. I don't know.
You think
Maybe it's just me.
What is? You think there's any way in which like it's all part of the bigger plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think that's naive at all.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That don't make it any easier though in
Right,
the moment.
yeah.
Or maybe it does soften the blow, I guess, a little bit, like that there's a silver lining, but it's still difficult. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Yeah. Because again, you gotta let time catch up. Who the fuck knows when the big picture is gonna be presented to you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's hard, bro. Yeah. Forgiveness is a tough one.
Yeah. A few of these are redundant, so I'm trying to. This one's pretty good actually. How blessed am I to be at peace with what kept me up at night?
Yeah, I mean that's the best feeling in the world.
You ever
I
get
mean,
out
you
of
can-
bed at like 3 a.m. with an idea that you just need to fucking get out or some shit? You ever like just been in bed and just like your brain is just so all over the place, but like
Yeah.
in a good way?
Yeah, I was thinking it more the negative way.
Yeah, me
I've seen-
too.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen
But
both.
How blessed am I to like you know what tormented you for X amount of time
Yeah.
that kept you up late at night.
Yeah.
And like how blessed am I to finally be at peace with it?
But I mean that's a beautiful point.
That's
too.
another way too. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
to
There's
look
two
at it.
ways
That's
you
how
can
I
look
looked
at
at
it.
it,
Yeah.
'cause
I like it.
I've because I've just been I've been in both situations, but I guess for me specifically, excuse me, if I was ever going through something that was keeping me up at night, honestly, I would just medicate to go to sleep. So the mornings were always tougher than at night. You know what I'm saying? So I've the only reason I've ever really like lately been up late is just because I'm plotting on something, not because
Nice.
I'm hurt. I feel the hurt like in the morning. It's completely reversed. I think I've said this before. Like as a teenager, it was exactly that, staying up late, not being able to sleep because of whatever's going on. And then in the morning, it's like wake up and it's like, all right, it's another day, maybe because we had high school or we had college or we had something else to occupy our time, you know? But now being 30, it's completely reversed. The morning and the early afternoon are the toughest. And then as the day progresses into the night, it's a different type of thought process to why I'm up, you know, which I think both of those are a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big blessing,
Yeah.
you know, to even have something that's inspiring you like that.
Yeah, 100%. That perspective is important. And I only get that fire underneath me when something happens, you know? So it's super bittersweet. I hope to be able to find that motivation without something drastic having to fucking happen in my life. But the only time I've ever made like an actual real change or done something positive, ironically, is when something like negative has happened to me.
Well, I think what's funny, bro, is because like we say this all the time. Like the only time you truly change in life is when you're in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
You know, when you're suffering. But bro, you know, love is a more powerful emotion than pain. So I feel like you can literally reverse that. You know, in all the moments of your life where you're suffering, you make a change. If there's a lot of suffering, if suffering in your life produces change, so does love. So, and
Love also causes the most pain, though.
Of course, but that's what I'm trying to get at here is there's other ways to get love than a relationship, gentlemen.
For sure.
Teach a kid how to fish, you know, or help a kid that has low self-esteem, or everything's going to go back to the kids. Like, help a kid that gets picked last in kickball, and maybe, you know, he comes up to you 2 weeks later and says, hey, I don't get picked last in kickball anymore. And that's just one avenue. So that's why I'm
different kind of love, though.
No, bro, dude,
it's a different kind of love.
It's a different, but that's what I'm advocating for, is that type of love is equally as inspirational and motivational as actually that might be more inspirational than feeling love for a girl. Because when I feel love for a girl, all I want to do is lay up with her and eat Cheetos. But when I change a kid, it's this example, and it's because now as a youth leader, I'm seeing that now. There's something about when you do something that's pure, the love felt from that makes you want to do more of that. And that's just been a big inspiration for me recently, is because also the other negative thing about relationships is if you don't got one, well, then you don't got any love. You know, so I think love, imagine making love, this was a viral clip I had a long time ago. Imagine making love of just about your life. Imagine finding, if you're the hopeless romantic and you're only happy when you're with a girl, you're with a guy, you know, what can you do in your everyday life that can also produce a feeling of love?
Yeah.
Is that feeling of love different? Yeah, but I'm telling you, like, again, going back to that other example, like, and I've just personally seen it, like, when, like, bro, yesterday, I was running in the village. I'm a psychopath. I'm a maniac, bro. I'm running 7 miles, bro, 8 miles, all this pre-workout, and I'm freaking yelling and playing the air guitar while I'm running, bro. And I got a big cross. I gotta get a huge cross on my back. Like, I'm thinking like crazy back piece, whatever. But whatever. So I'm running, and I see this guy that, you know, I guess he's homeless, and he's like, and I'm like, I mean, you got the wrong guy, brother. I'm on a run. And I turn the corner, and I'm like, I hate being Christian, bro. So I have to walk back to the guy, stop my run, and say, you know, can I get you some food? Long story short, think about how stupid this is. I have to walk into a restaurant, my shirt's off, there's sweat all over me, I have a huge cross on my chest, I look like a psychopath, and I have to be like, hey, don't call the police, there's a homeless guy outside, I like to get him food. And then I go to give him the food, and I'm like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? To which he says, yes. I'm like, can I pray for you? And I pray over him. And bro, I felt like someone gave me a Percocet, you know, like I ran the fastest I've ran for the rest of that run since. So that's what I'm saying about love, is there's opportunities in your life to feel the inspiration of love the same way you would feel the inspiration of love if you got hurt. But it's kind of it's up to you to find those things, I guess.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I was just saying it comes in a different form, and it feels totally different than obviously with a girl, as it should. And I'm just saying, at least for me, it's fulfilling in different ways. Like, I've been kind of that guy my entire life. I've always done that stuff. Like, I trained kids for free. I'd drive to each one of their houses. I'd pick them up. I'd drive them to the park. I'd train them for free. I'd, you know, help their parent. Cause I liked, you know, like, they saw me at the gym. They thought I was cool, whatever. They liked the way I played basketball, whatever. I started a free recruiting service where I got 7 kids scholarships for free. And I'm on my phone 3 a.m. DMing, you know, cause it made me feel good, you know? So I definitely understand that perspective. I'm just saying it's different in the way of, like, I don't know, the love, like me doing that. That's why we always say, like, selfless sometimes is being selfish, But either way, you're still helping someone, so it's a good deed. Like I used to do that because it did make me feel good. Like when I used to help these kids, and when I used to help kids get recruited, and I would help all my friends get recruited. Totally understandable. It made me feel good, and like it was, but like I don't know. Like, at least my relationship with love, that love and like love with a girl, two totally different things. It just didn't, like I don't know. Like it's not a.
But does love with a girl inspire you?
Does love with a girl inspire me? I don't know if I've ever had it. But I think if it's the right love with the right girl, I think it could inspire you. I think it should inspire you.
100%.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do think that it will
inspire you to just be a better version of yourself, like for her, like
Yeah.
for you, but like for her, like just inspire, just to be better,
Yeah.
to be.
Just
Just
takes
to
the
be,
right girl, man.
to
The
bring it out
majority
of
of guys I know are like 75 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I got a taste of it with the last girl.
Yeah.
Something inside of me was like, you know what? Like you got to be better. If you want this girl in your life, like you got to be better. There's ways about you got to let go and you got to change.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's definitely inspiration that comes from love from a girl, that if she's the right one, or if she's maybe the right one at the right time, she makes you change. And maybe she's not the right one forever.
Mhm.
But if there's a girl that comes in your life and can make you make a life change, yeah, certainly. I do believe there's inspiration. But even those inspirations are still like, like to me, like at least just from my experience, they've been different, because like now, like if a girl comes in your life and she inspires you to make a change, you are changing for her.
Right.
These kids that I was helping get recruited, did I love them? I had love for them. I wanted the best for them. Absolutely. But I was doing it because it made me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Like it at the end of the day, like I was like, I'm just being like a good person because I'm being the guy that I wish that I had when I was a kid coming up. And I see that they don't have that. So I totally understand what you're saying. Like there's definitely inspiration in that, but I was almost doing it for my younger self, for the lack of guidance and help that I had being a young basketball player trying to make it and get recruited and get the right training and whatever. Like I was doing it for like my 14-year-old self when I would help those kids in the gym. So it's selfish, but it's also obviously a selfless act.
Right.
So, yeah.
One thing.
Yeah.
Because, bro, we're all going to be in positions of leadership, and we're going to get attacked because of that, and we're going to get burnt out a lot because of that. And there's going to be times where we don't feel authentic anymore because we're chasing a damn algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I was listening to this podcast. Lecrae had this dude on, and big, like mega church pastor, 30,000 people, 40,000 people a service.
Mm.
And Lecrae asked him, he's like, hey, like, do you ever get nervous before you speak? And he's like, no, absolutely not. And he's like, Lecrae's like, how's that possible? And he said, if I'm serving, I don't get nervous, but if I'm performing, I get nervous.
Mm.
And
That's interesting.
And that's a, good place for us, just like with our intentions, like, because I've done it, like, bro, like once I become the dancing monkey that's like trying to like just do what I think, people like
entertain.
Yeah, just if I'm trying to entertain, it's like it's
yeah.
You get the point.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Trying to see. I'll read these, but maybe like because we've kind of like
nailed on a bunch of them.
A lot of how blessed am I? That's maybe I'll read a few, and then when you guys be like that one, we'll go.
Yeah.
How blessed am I that growth can mean outgrowing what's wrong? We've kind of touched on that, right?
Yeah.
How blessed am I to let go? Pretty vague, but like
I don't feel blessed at all.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes letting go is one of the hardest things that we have to do. But how blessed am I to find peace at all? Kind of goes into the night.
You got any different ones, like different type of?
That's what I'm trying. How blessed am I to not be what I almost was?
Oh, that's perfect.
That's a really good one.
Let's
Very
go with
good
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
How blessed am
'Cause I
I
mean,
to not be what I almost was?
Who would you be if you were the absolute like lowest version of yourself? Or maybe if you don't want to take it like that, but I'm just saying it's very
but
interesting.
not
Yeah,
even
I'd
not
take it
even
like that.
lowest. I don't even think lowest.
Right.
Right, you could look at it lowest. I don't know. Maybe my mom died. I turned to drugs.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I was.
I fucking started messing around with the wrong people. Now I'm in my dad's putting me in rehab facility. You know, like that could have happened.
That could have happened.
Right? Or I look at it, what if I kind of stayed in the basketball world and I was either playing professionally after college or got into the coaching game and I'm bouncing from Kansas to Texas to South Dakota to Louisiana every other year, getting new jobs and can never so there's a lot of things that, hey, how blessed am I to not be what I almost was? So that I guess that makes you really try to be grateful for where you are right now, because we could look back on our life and imagine so many different ways where we could have went left or could have stayed on this path and we didn't, which led us here. But now if we would have stayed on that path, would you be happier with that or with this? And I guess you have to be happier with this situation because this is the one you chose.
Yeah.
And if you believe in that things happen for a reason, the butterfly effect, and that God is guiding your life, well, then you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it. I was going to say the butterfly effect. Obviously, that should change my life. But I think about it from the perspective of like, okay, I'll give you guys an example, right? Where I'm from in Brooklyn, I wanted to go to Severian. Okay?
Severian?
I wanted to go to Severian. It's where all my friends were going. All the kids that I grew up with, it's where I wanted to go. It was an all-boys school. My dad, and it was far from my house. My dad was like, you ain't going there. And it was more expensive. So for the first year of high school, I was in St. Edmunds, and I hated it. Right, I didn't know anybody. I walked into that school and did not know a soul. Right, it was very uncomfortable, and it was one of the worst years. It was just terrible, bro. Well, my sophomore year, my junior year, and my senior year were some of the fucking best years of my life. Right, I met kids that I'm still best friends with to this day for 15 years. I don't know, bro. Like from there, everything just kind of happened the way that it happened. And then if you want to go even further than that. What if I never dropped out of college? Or what if I did take that construction job? Or what if I did stay with that first girl and I made it work and whatever? You know what I mean? Like, who knows what could have happened? So I'm blessed to have the perspective of like everything that's happened for a reason. And I'm just here for a reason. Because, bro, listen, I could have went the completely wrong way. I'm talking about like, bro, I grew up around criminals, bro. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around criminals and like I could have like turned to drugs and I know me. I'm an addictive personality. Like the wrong hit or the wrong shit could have took me out for, you know? So I'm just blessed. Yeah. I'm just blessed to, even if I'm not necessarily totally happy with where I'm at, I am happy with where I'm at in a way. When at least from talking about it from that perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, bro, I love this.
Yeah.
I feel like this one could have been a whole podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, because this is just, I mean, it almost like encapsulates everything that we spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, I've realized this about myself. And I don't know where this came from, and I don't know why I have it. And maybe it's not all the way true. Maybe I'm almost like painting myself as more of a monster, as like a humble play. But I know that like my left hand will really screw over my right hand if the circumstance called for it. And that is where I think I would have went in life. I think that because of some need or some insecurity, I would have hurt people, including me. And you know what's crazy? I would have said that it was their fault. And I'm so glad that that's not where I'm at anymore. And I truthfully feel that that's not where I'm going, because bro, I was so tired of like the this is crazy, bro. There's an insane Bible verse.
Before you go,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna go. We're at an hour mark. Do you want to dump?
Yeah,
And
I'll do this and then I'll dump.
Okay.
Um,
Dump his card, not
Yeah.
use the bathroom.
I do. I want to dump. It's getting weird. Bro. It is not good to eat much honey, so to seek one's own glory is not glory. Bro, I was in like... There's this thing recently where I just see kind of the rat race in front of me, and I see, you know, it's so weird. Like, let's say this is the thing you want in your life, bro. Because of the rat race, I've seen it, people will stop at nothing to get there. Your marriage, your friendships, your reputation, Bro, that's where I was going. Like, I would have stopped at nothing to achieve this thing, which in my mind is glory. But seeking one's own glory is not glory. And that's where, again, that belief in God has came into play, and that thing that we spoke about, faith. Bro, it changed my life to be like, so you're telling me that, like, if that thing's meant for me, I'm going to get it regardless? That's what you're saying? So I don't have to be so focused on my self-interest and hurt other people in the process and lie and be cunning and crafty and make a fool out of I don't got to do any of that? Like, you're telling me that's for me? No matter what I do, you're going to give me that? Do you know what grace is, bro? Mm-hmm. Grace is when you get something you don't deserve. When you're given something you don't deserve. And that I'm so blessed to not be what I almost was, because I would have ruined getting the thing that God wanted for me, all in the name of trying to get it, which is so crazy.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
That was actually like the longest intermission we've ever taken.
Yeah, it wasn't bad either. Normally, I hate doing intermissions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice little reset.
good.
That was probably like 25 minutes.
That was nice.
Feels
That
right.
was
Feeling good, huh?
Yeah.
That was a good intermission.
That was a good one.
You said before we left.
You have a crazy memory.
I don't know what the fuck you said before we left.
Well, you said grace is God giving you something you don't deserve.
Yes.
Okay. And then that, to me, like, at least for my my situation, it kind of like coincides with the next quote. So I'll say that and then I'll preface it. How blessed am I to lose what I could never keep? Mm-hmm. And yeah, like when you said that, it just resonated with me, because that's just how I felt, of like, you know, like that related to grace, where you just said grace is God giving you something that you can never, you know, that you didn't deserve. And then this is saying, how blessed am I to lose what I could never keep? And being removed from the situation, I mean, that's kind of with the last female that I was dealing with, like, that's kind of how I felt, you know. When she came into my life, I almost didn't feel deserving of her. And that's why I wanted to change so much, because I was like, why would God bless me right now with like this, what seems like perfect human being, perfect partner, like the girl that I would love to be with? Why would he give her to me right now? Like, I don't deserve her, you know? And losing her is, I think, just a testament to be like, God showing me what I have the potential to have when I get to be the person that I'm supposed to be. And yeah, he showed me the love that I'm able to receive, the love that I'm able to give. And it sucks that I had to lose her in that process, and it couldn't be, you know, it's not her. But yeah, I think as time goes on, I'll be able to look back at losing her and losing and just all this suffering and pain that I went through in the past, 45 to 50 days, that it was a blessing, that it did create substantial change in my life and perspective that I would have never had if she never came in.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I'm a testimony as someone that's, been kind of the closest to you. I mean, you're always great at speaking, of course, but I mean, bro, you've just been spitting hot flames, the whole past 50 days, bro.
Yeah.
You're like a viral machine, man.
Yeah,
Can't slow this guy down. I mean,
can't.
but it's true, but it's not even about the relationships. It's more, because it's not about getting a viral clip. It's about your perspective has actually changed.
Yeah.
And you're thinking differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she changed me.
Yeah.
She changed me, which is kind of crazy. Just in that short amount of time, she has certainly changed me. And she's not even in my life anymore, but she changed me. And it's hard to accept it right now because, like, I'm still going through it a little bit, but I'm, like, getting better. And I still care about her, or still have love for her. But I think that's why I wish in the future that even if, like, her and I aren't meant to be and we never get back together, I hope, like, we could be in each other's lives, kind of like you were saying earlier with yours. Just because, like, I'll be able to view it from the perspective of, like, dude, I'm so thankful, like, you came into my life. And even though maybe we're not meant to be together, I would love to have you in my life, because, like, I think it would be really cool for us to, like, just be able to be cool, and be able to be in each other's lives and transform that love that we shared as maybe romantic love to just love as people,
Absolutely.
and view it from that perspective. So yeah, only time will tell, who knows, but like we said, how love sometimes, like, isn't, like, love should be enough. So even though, like, I love her and, like, I think I'll always have a place in my heart for her, selfishly, I still want her in my life in the future, even if it's not as my partner, but that love should be enough, like, kind of what we were saying. But sometimes it feels like it's not.
I don't know if I could still be friends with,
Well, that's a different thing. I mean, that's 7 years
but
of.
it's also more similar to Jake.
It is similar.
But it's also where you're at, like, bro, I would have never in a million years been able to be friends with her, but for whatever sick reason in my head, I'm at that place somehow, some way. So what this is kind of showing me is I do believe you can get there. I do believe you can get there, because, bro, it's really.
You gotta want to get there too.
What do you say?
You gotta want to get there.
Well, I think
that is true.
I don't think I want to get there.
Yeah.
At least, like you said right now, it's about, not to cut you off, but it's like where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to get there. Somebody commented on one of the TikToks and was like, "This too shall pass. Like, you'll get over it."
Amen.
And I commented back and I said, "It's so weird. I don't know if I want to get over it."
I saw your response. Yeah.
Because
I saw it.
it's like I don't. It makes me feel. Like I don't know if I want to get over it, because then that means that, like, the love kind of passed a little bit, and I don't ever want it to pass. So it's just like, it's this weird fucking, I don't know, bro. It's weird because I start to feel guilty, bro. My situation is different. I fucked up,
I think you should look at it as, like, the love transforming.
Yeah, because
it's not what we want.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and the love isn't going anywhere, so you have to transform it.
Well, yeah, it's like, Jake, you said, I don't remember, probably the last time we recorded in here, where you, and to a lot of people who can't understand what I'm about to say, they just can't understand it, but you referenced it in the sense of, like, it's kind of like losing a sister.
Yeah.
Right. And that's on an if you know kind of thing, you know? And so in that sense, it's like, yeah, I want her to be happy. I want her to fulfill everything that she wants to do in life. And I'd like to be there for that in a way, because we were so close. You have to be best friends with somebody to also be dating them romantically for 90% of 7 years.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, is it okay to just say, nah, fuck it, I can't be your friend if we're not romantically involved? Right? Maybe that's okay to say to somebody that you were with for 6 months or a year or whatever, but to say that to somebody that was in your life for 7 years,
Right.
it makes me feel guilty in a sense that, like, I do feel like I can't be her friend, even though, like, she was so important to my life outside of romance, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a difficult situation for sure. I'm still in it, though. That's why. So
Yeah.
talk to me in 6 months.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know if
No,
you gave yours on
no,
that topic.
I didn't give it, but it was good. So yeah, give me it. What is it?
Um,
Blessed to how blessed am I?
how
to lose
blessed am
something
I
can't
to
keep?
lose what I could never keep?
Yeah, I mean, it's so good. I mean, I would say, to that, this was kind of a crazy point that I was hearing today, and it's been kind of a weird thing in my faith. So I had this weird thought today where if someone held me at gunpoint and said, deny Jesus or I'm going to shoot you, what would I do? I had a weird moment with that today where I was like, what would I do? Because when I glance at it, I go, I'm not going to deny Jesus or God or ever. I'm not going to do that. But then I thought about the hidden church in China. Apparently there's like a whole hidden church, like millions of people in China that have to like meet underground and all this stuff. And if they get
killed.
They get killed. Yeah. They're like
Brutally too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they still do it like bad over there.
And I thought about that because in America, if you don't like your church's band, you won't go. Oh, the band's whack. Oh, the pastor I like's not going to be there this week. Nah, I'm not going.
Mm.
I'm like, bro, are we following the same Jesus? Like, is this the same Jesus that said, like, bro, if you want to follow me, like, you need to hate your father and your mother? Like, you need to, like, deny your... Are we talking about that Jesus? Like, you, like... Are we talking about the guy that's like, you can't... what was it? There's no time to bury the dead. You're not allowed to go bury the dead if you want to follow me. Like, are we talking about... I thought about that today, I'm just like, damn. Like... I almost feel like I don't want to I was going to segue somewhere else, but then it was just going to go too far and too religious. So I'll just come back to earth just to say I've been kind of realizing this recently, and I don't know if someone held me at gunpoint if I would denounce Jesus. I don't think I would. But what I do know is that I want to get to that point. And I want to get to that point because for me personally, anytime I do what that book says to do, I feel better. And I've never had that ever. And I'm bought in. Like, it's real or it's not. But to me, it's all the way real. I'm so bought in that if it says that Noah was 900 years old, then screw it. Noah's 900 years old. Because I've never seen so much wisdom be applied to my life just by reading what the book says to do. And I didn't need science you know, because you got to believe the science anyway. Am I going to have faith in science and us being born out of dark matter and chimpanzees, or am I going to have faith in this thing that is like very much real and alive to me? It's like it's more in the room than science is, than an algorithm. So I come around to finish that question off just by saying, I think that for me is something that I've done, and something I want to continue to do is, if I have this thing, I don't need anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, I heard my pastor say it this week. It's like, will this thing matter in heaven? And it makes you think about all the things that you're holding on to. And God wants us to have. God wants us to have. It would never say in the Our Father, or no, it would never say as a commandment, like, don't steal, from your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, if God didn't want us to have, he would have never said, don't steal. God wants us to have. But, man, when it really comes kind of down to it, like, are you down to die for the things that you believe in? And if I'm down to die for the things that I believe in, then I'm also down to lose something that I certainly can't keep.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean to not love those things.
Mm-hmm.
But it means that my love for this exceeds something that I was even blessed to get to in the first place. Kind of like what you said before. Dude, side point, I feel like even just to be alive is such a crazy occurrence. And, no, I'm not gonna go there because it would take me too long. But I'll say on that token, like, yeah, I'll just finish it. Understand the spirit of what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's a good point. Yeah, because we think if we lose someone, that means we stop loving them. And sometimes you have to lose people that you love to get better things in your life, or to reach the heights that maybe God wants for you. But it's so hard to do that because we believe that, all right, if I let this person go, that means I don't love them the way that they think I love them. And that's why it's so hard to be able to move on.
Right.
And I've almost started to gain even more respect for the girl that I was talking to be able to do that because of her conviction in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to transform it from I don't understand to almost a form of like real respect. Of like, damn, even though you felt this way, you did something that hurt you so much, but you did it because you had faith in that this was the right decision, regardless if it caused you pain. And I don't know if I would have had the balls to do that. Probably not. So yeah, that was that's what I said. I've learned a lot from this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy.
So a few of these are very, very similar, and I think we can hit them together.
But also, last thing, you are more powerful than that little woman, but she had more conviction than you because of the thing that she had conviction in. So that's what I think speaks power to the thing that she has conviction in, which is God. Because here's like, we've all seen it, like, the pictures of a dude standing in front of a tank in Maoist China, meaning like this guy is down to die for something because of what he believes in. And that's why belief is so powerful. And that's just imagine if you now, this strong man can have belief in something like that. What could you do with it?
Yeah,
be unstoppable.
Sure. Yeah,
it's a good perspective too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll rattle off a few of these. They're all in the same ballpark, and I think we can like tackle them all. How blessed am I that it hurts so much because I can feel?
Yeah.
How blessed am I to learn strength only pain can teach? How blessed am I that doors have shut so the right ones have opened?
That one's sad,
Yeah.
but it's true.
Yes. How blessed am I to have lost what I wanted to find what I deserved? How blessed am I to have lost the way to find what I am worth? How blessed am I that things didn't work out? How blessed am I?
Chill out, man.
Well, I'm saying these
I'm
are
just kidding.
all
Yeah,
like
I
It's
know.
all the
I'm
same
kidding.
thing.
these
I'm
are
kidding.
all
I'm
yeah
kidding.
basically
yeah.
all the
We'll
same.
be here
Yeah,
for
of course.
7
Yeah, I know,
hours
I
if
know,
we
I
try
know.
to.
Yeah.
But that's,
I don't even. This is the last one. How blessed am I that I was broken so that light could come in?
that's what I said on the last one. The light's got to break.
Yes.
For the
Yeah. You
I
said the
learned
window
hard way.
has to break so the light could bleed in.
But
Yeah.
there was one that you said. I think it was like the third thing that you said. So, I forgot what.
How blessed am I that doors have shut so the right ones could be opened?
What was the before that?
How blessed am I to have lost what I wanted to find what I deserved? Or how blessed am I to learn strength only
Yeah.
pain can teach?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's tough, bro. Because someone also commented this on one of my TikToks. It said that she had to be the thing that I lost in order to like find myself.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just like, because it goes back to the conversation that we had on the episode in Philly. It was, does the perspective you gain by losing this person outweigh, what is it? How do you word it? Outweigh what? Her? Having her?
Yeah.
You know?
Outweigh losing her.
Does it out, like, I don't know. That's really hard, bro.
Yeah, is the price you had to pay in life perspective worth losing her?
This could be naive. I think that it does, but I think that if they were meant to come back around, then they will, and you'll be way better off anyway, because you get that perspective, and then you get to apply it, and then like you get what's for you. Now, hopefully that person is for you, but if it's not, then it's somebody else. But just to go back, not to go off on that, but just to go back, yeah, how blessed am I to get strength that I could only learn by certain pain? Yeah, bro, that's just one of them things, bro. It's like what you said before. It's the wisdom that you get when you get older. You only realize it when you get older. So the strength that you get through the pain, you only realize it by getting hurt, right? So if like you never get hurt, then all you know is strength, then it's not really strength, right? Like it's you have to have that other perspective. You have to know what sad is to know what happy is. You have to know what down is to know what up is. It's like that fucking like conundrum of life. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's tough, but that's a really good one, because that's the silver lining in all this shit. You know, and I feel like that statement right there is the umbrella to like everything else you said after that. They're all like the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what sucks though, is because, you know, you brought up the point, well, yeah, I want to believe that because now my perspective changed, but then she comes back. Now I'm willing to keep her. And that's like the price you have to pay from doing the wrong thing, losing the person. You gain the perspective, but they don't always come back.
Right.
And that's the hard part.
Yep.
You know, we make so many mistakes in life, whether it costs us losing people, losing money, losing jobs, losing family. And yes, we gain a lot of perspective, but we ultimately end up losing that person out of our life. It usually, God, life, universe, whatever you believe in, usually doesn't reward you with the fact of like, yeah, I'm going to give you perspective and I'm going to bring back what caused you this perspective, what made you gain this perspective. It usually comes with a price. Everything in life comes with a price.
Yeah.
And imagine that though. Imagine you were able to make a mistake, lose something that you loved, learn from it, and then get to love them again.
A dream.
That's just not the way life works, you know? So that's why I think that's a crazy, like, it's a really good question to be like, does the love you had for this person or this thing outweigh the life perspective that you gain from losing them? And it's very tough. it's a very tough question to answer when you're in the position of still loving that person while gaining perspective on life and changing your ways, to say, you know, I don't care about the way I look at life. I just want this person. Or is me losing this person, changing the way that I think, going to make my life so much better in the long run that I can't see now? And that's having faith.
Yeah, I mean, bro, that's what's so powerful about faith. It's such a good word.
It always just comes back to that, bro.
It's such a good word recently. You
It
know?
always just comes back to having faith, bro. But I don't know.
It's hard.
I don't know.
You gotta Yeah.
Can't even practice faith, bro. How could you practice it?
Well, I mean, I think you. I mean, I'm gonna talk. You know, pray, read the Bible. You gotta do. You know. At least I think that stuff helps. You know. Because,
Well, I mean, I'm back to praying every day, every night before bed and shit, the right way. You know, not the OCD way that I used to do. So that's just that. You know.
Yeah, faith, man. Nah, faith is something I don't think you're gonna get, bro, unless you have a strong relationship with God.
Mm-hmm. You're willing to just surrender because you have to be very confident in order to surrender, I guess. And confidence and faith kind of like go like this in a way.
Yeah, it just
Right?
becomes your new. It literally just becomes like a different way of living.
Yeah.
You know, it just becomes kind of like, bro, I pray so much now, like, and it's because I know he's listen. I know he's listening.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the power of prayer. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get into all that, but I'm just saying, like, faith, man, it's just, I think at the end of the day, a lot of these things that we spoke about, how blessed am I to have X scenario that I really didn't want? And the only way you're going to, you know, really be thankful for that thing is faith in something.
And
Faith.
to see it through.
Yeah, and to see it through, yeah.
Yeah, well, one of
Without
those other
giving
things
up.
was how blessed am I to have the door closed on me so I could walk through a different one. It's a good one.
Oh, I thought about this. The only way you're ever going to actually be willing to give up something that you really love or you really like is because you think that there's something better coming.
Yeah.
So do with that with what you will.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Faith in the future.
Because I mean, bro, I don't know. Leave it at that. I don't know. I think we have to, bro. Whatever. Let's go get pizza, man. I want to talk. I want to talk about the real. I want to talk about the things we'd speak about on the Patreon.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys should get on the Patreon
Yeah.
Imagine now we switched over to Patreon. That would be kind of cool.
What do you mean?
with a tequila
Like,
bottle.
you know how Shane Gillis and them be like,
yeah.
now
We'll be
we're
like,
going-
all right, see you guys on the
See you guys on the
Patreon.
Patreon.
That would work.
Go get a tequila
We
bottle.
should start doing that.
I know. Then you got to be used to podcasting for
3
2.5 hours.
I
We
mean,
could get
I'm
it
down.
done. We could get it done. We could do it.
It's so much easier when you know you're getting $50,000 from that Patreon episode.
Well, yeah.
That is true.
That's true. Yeah.
But well, hey, I mean, maybe that's something that we
We could do,
implement
we could do.
when, like, I know we didn't do it this week, and the
Yeah.
plan was, but like we'll pick a day for, like,
Yeah.
you know, the Journey, John, Zach, and Jake
Yeah.
content day,
Yes.
whatever it is, and maybe that implements into it, you know.
Yeah, well, I was thinking
an entire day.
yeah.
We could get a whole week's worth of content done in a day.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
even longer. Maybe even more than a week's
Yeah,
worth
we
of
all
content.
help each other out. You know what I'm
what I'm
saying? Like,
saying?
if John
Like-
needs a personal, I need a personal, you need
Yeah.
a personal
We'll
thing.
all do it for
we
ourselves.
collab on ourselves, whatever.
Yeah,
we
bro.
shoot 2 episodes. I think that would be
Guys could come to me once a month to show you around my place a little bit, like my neighborhood, different spots.
yeah.
Have a little Brooklyn day. Have a
Cool,
Manhattan
mate.
day. Have a day over here. We'll
Mm-hmm.
do it. We'll do it. I didn't even get a chance to answer you how that conversation went. What's your say?
Yeah.
Not on the con. Not
We'll
on the
talk about it. Let's get pizza.
Yeah.
go. Love y'all. Go to the Patreon.
Yeah, appreciate you guys if you're here.
Yeah, once again, we are Patreon exclusive now, pretty much. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the announcement that we never really announced. But for the people that are like loyal YouTube listeners,
Or Spotify.
Or Spotify. We've been dropping weekly. We haven't missed.
Yeah, no, we haven't missed.
Sometimes twice in a week.
Twice in a week. Yeah, there's 20 plus ad-free exclusive episodes on Patreon that have never been shown to the public.
Yeah, and a lot of them are really good.
Yeah, listen, it's not like we don't get into it on the episodes where we're on YouTube, but we really get into it on the Patreon app because we know that this is a private community and we get into it. We get into it here
ex-girlfriend can't see it unless she pays for it.
Yeah, she
which they've done. I think every one of us had an ex-girlfriend subscribe to that Patreon.
I don't think she's on the Patreon.
Well, I haven't told John. I have a secret. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she subscribed as Muhammad Al-Shari.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
All right.
Love y'all.
Good pizza.